song, going on a field trip, yeah.
Let's see. So I'm trying to set up this camera so you can see what I'm doing while I'm doing it. Because that's what it's supposed to be like, right? Oh, that's pretty good. Sorry for the white light over there. I'll try to get it as centered as possible. I think that's good. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm inking this, the final inks for this poster for the Melvins, for their show August 31st at the Auto Bar in Baltimore, which is pretty cool because I got to see them there last summer and do the poster for it, and to be able to do it again is pretty fucking awesome, I have to say. If you've never been to the Auto Bar, it is a very unique rock club located in Baltimore, Maryland. Plenty of parking around it. It's a fun venue. Went there last year, like I said, to see them. Les Butcherettes opened. Of course, everyone knows who Les Butcherettes is. I don't know if they're done yet, but they just got done touring through North America with at the drive-in. I don't know if they got done that tour or if something happened that guy couldn't finish it, that singer. Nonetheless. So what I'm doing now is I'm drawing these tombstones. Hang on. Okay, cool, you can see. So I'm drawing these tombstones that are an inlay. The main focus of the illustration is an Edgar Allan Poe face with, pardon me, with Melvins carved into his forehead and bleeding down his face, and that gives way to these little piggy cops right here, all dancing over his head and giving each other high fives. Everybody knows about the Baltimore Police Department and the horrible conduct which we hear about from them. So I wanted the poster to be a reflection of that somewhat. Last year I included Edgar Allan Poe in the poster that I was doing, and the significance of that was, of course, with Freddie Gray and everything that was going on at that time. So it was a cop standing over a beaten up Edgar, and Edgar was saying nevermore, and the cop had a badge on and his name was Reynolds. This all is relevant because it is suspected that Edgar Allan Poe mysteriously died in the streets, or was found in the streets, I believe, in Baltimore, beaten badly and murmuring the name Reynolds. And it had been thought that that was a cop and that he was beaten to death by the cops because he was drunk, I suppose. I mean, from what I hear, that would be the logical thing to assume if you were going to assume anything. But I guess when assuming anything is involved, it's not very logical. But at any rate, I wanted to have Edgar be in the poster somewhere. And this idea came together because I consider it still relevant. I mean, Baltimore is within driving distance of me easily. It's socially relevant. And I will go say this, that is something that many modern gig posters are lacking. Back in the gig poster movement in the 90s, early 2000s, there was some of that. That is largely non-existent anymore. And what I mean is political satire of the time. It happened during the Bush presidency. It was probably the last time. Certainly you can argue that it manifested into the street art movement with Shepard Fairey and his work, and for Obama. But I don't know. I decided that that was going to be the basis for it. So Edgar's head is carved apart, and the piggies are flying overhead. Also, we have this giant creature coming out of the eternal bog in these druid shapes, summoning them with their staves. See its eyes escalating, and then there's going to be this in here is actually the seal for the police department badge, I believe. The badge. It's also indicative of that is also the fact that the background on the right and the left are the pattern on the back of the badge. I don't know how many posters exist like that anymore. And at a time, there was a time when that's all the gig posters were. Just to give you, this is a gig poster for Melvins, a concert poster that it will be produced by being silk screened and then sold as a limited edition at the show. So what I was saying before was that you used to find a lot more liberty that were taken with concert posters. Not so much anymore, it has dwindled maybe more as they have become band merch, I feel. And that's coming from somebody who's an artist, a collector, a voyeur, and a lover of the physical medium of anything rock and roll, whether it be a concert poster, a ticket stub, a shitty old picture, a fucking crappy set list that you get, if you get that kind of thing. My friend always used to fucking go for that stuff. Pardon the language. He knows who he is, Kevin Macarone. He'll never watch this, though, don't worry. So this is how I do it. I'm working on a paper, actually, this time that's a lot lighter than I normally use. I usually use a thicker stock. But for this little joint right here, I was like, I always work a lot faster, it feels, on certain different surfaces. And this is like the same exact paper that I did my Lamb of God Anthrax gig poster on back in January's. And as quick turnaround because I had a bunch of stuff going on. Monster Mania. That was a lot of fun, very productive, made some new friends. Saw a lot of great old friends. The reason I stopped when I've been doing is because I've found over the years, and I don't know if it's true of other illustrators or whatever, but I get very still when I do certain strokes, especially when they're like important strokes, like that cross, like that's what I was doing right there. So it's got to be a very straight lined way of doing it, and you can train your hand. I believe it's muscle memory that your hand gets that way. I could be wrong, but I can train my hand to make that straight line or to make a perfect curve or a somewhat perfect curve, at least as good as I can get with a pen. So what I did was I usually, like, in the shading on his lapel right there, if you can tell right here, it's stippling. So that's usually several layers of stippling. I don't want to leave these little guys hang, because sometimes you just nail those curves when you're drawing this tombstone. I've drawn tombstones before, not this many in one shot, and I'm definitely gonna, there's a lot more shading to come in there. It's gonna take me all night, which is okay. This is why I do it. I love it. I love the Melvins. So they will be around with Helms Ali, I believe, who I'm going to see, I think, a month later with Russian Circles. So that's always a good time, see Russian Circles. The last time I saw him was maybe, 6 years ago in Austin. Because my friend who was with me at the time, Nick, he's the one that's like, oh yeah, that band Russian Circles, they were really good. Because we saw them at a festival. Me, him, his wife, my friend Kelly Cav. I think that's it. I don't know if Chris was with us, I forget. That might have been the second year when he was like, fuck that place. Or maybe he came after. Anyway, that's not relevant to anything of your interest, so I'll shut up. So now I'm just drawing the opposite side where the tombstones are. Whew. It is freaking hot in here, or it's getting hot. Okay, I'm gonna put on YouTube Secrets of the Snowy Owl. Deal with it.
And we started to run into people who knew Baltimore. Baltimore was a brave bird because he hung out in one of the most important bald eagle spots. Bald eagles are the only things here that snow owls are scared of.
It was very sunny that day. I came across this white bird body. As it turned out, it was Baltimore. Just enjoying the sunshine, and I was enjoying watching him.
And then on to New York City.
What I'm thinking, just by working here, he must have been amazed by the noise, the height, the lights. Hey, it gets no better than this. Look at this.
So this is where he was. On and on he went, across Lake Ontario and into Canada.
He flew right on that top of that mast. You remember that guy? Snowy owl sat right up there, flew right up on the mast there.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that looked like it was like one of them.
Baltimore stopped at Amherst Island, then headed north to summer in the Arctic. Come winter, he returned to Amherst, an island where they're crazy for owls.
Happy spring, everyone. 12 snowy owls were present the other day. Well, they're still here.
That's quite a bunch.
Yeah, it is quite a bunch because we got 20 on the Christmas count, and we had 25 searches out.
The wonderful story of Baltimore, right? I spotted the white owl on the very top of CJAI's silo. His mouth was open. You would swear he was laughing at us. Baltimore was hanging around the radio station and around the school.
We went outside and then the snowy owl was just like staring at us.
But we couldn't find him either of those places. Spring has arrived, and there's a chance Baltimore could have already headed north. His last set of locations were scattered across this 17,000-acre island. Those data points are 3 days old.
See the little white dot? It looks pretty good. It's like a
big white male. Could be Baltimore. I don't see a backpack. Oh my gosh, look, that's Baltimore right there.
We're never gonna find this owl.
Oh, and is that one out in the field? Every time I see a mailbox, I think that's an owl. Yeah, that's him. I can see the transmitter. I think that's him. I think that's Baltimore. Right there.
Calm down, dude.
He's looking at us. There he goes, the owl whose secrets aren't so secret anymore. We now know he loves to hunt at night, that he likes to eat not just voles, but water birds. We know that he can reach speeds of 55 miles per hour, fly 140 miles in a stretch. We know the altitude of his route and the places he likes to stop on his 1,600-mile migration. All his data, along with data from other owls, is helping to answer our questions about this mysterious species. Maybe that new understanding will help us protect them. This year, Baltimore turns 3. That's the age when we think a snowy owl first seeks out a mate in the Arctic. And as he flies north into this new chapter, we will be able to follow.
Morning star lights the way, restless dream all done. Shadows gone, break of day, your life begun.
If Baltimore survives his summer in the Arctic and returns to Cell Range, he'll bring with him a whole new set of data. Data that tells the story of frozen hunting grounds, and perhaps a nest full of owlets.
Going home, going home, I'm just going home. It's not quite just past my through an open door.
The fence we walked between the years did balance us serene. It was a place half in the sky where in the green of leaf and promising of peach, we'd reach our hand to touch and almost touch the sky. If we could reach and touch, we said, 'twould teach us not to, never to, be dead. We ached and almost touched that stuff. Our reach was never quite enough. If only we had followed then and touched God's cup, his hem, we would not have to go with them who've gone before, who short as us stood tall as they could stand, and hoped by stretching tall that they might keep their land, their home, their heart, their flesh and soul. But they like us were standing in a hole. Oh, Thomas, will a race one day stand really tall across the void, across the universe and all, and measured out with rocket fire, at last put Adam's finger forth, as on the Sistine ceiling, and God's hand come down the other way to measure man, and find him good, and gift him with forever's day? I work for that. Short man, large dream. I send my rockets forth between my ears, hoping an inch of good is worth a pound of years. Aching to hear a voice cry back along the universal mile, we've reached Alpha Centauri. We're tall. Oh, God, we're tall.
a spider builds its web, something extraordinary happens. The spider tunes individual strands of silk by stretching or shortening them.